because that
Couldn't be further
couldn't be
away
further
from
away
working with
from
wood.
working with wood.
Oh, I mean, I did a lot of polystyrene carving in my film career. Anything over a certain size, it suits to do in polystyrene because you haven't got to mould and cast it afterwards. What you do is the finished job. So, I mean, things like for Clash of the Titans, I did a 25-foot figure. On that, I did two at the entrance to the city. I did the two Assyrian balls that tie into the archway, and I did all the panels around the entrance as well. Things like all the big Russian statues for GoldenEye on the Bond film, they were all polystyrene.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Which was the first film that went into what is now Warner Brothers Studios, where all the Harry Potters were made. So the first film that was ever made there, I did the Russian statues. I didn't work on the pictures as such. I did them all at a price. There were two of us worked on them and carved them all in about 10 weeks. We did a huge amount of work. We had two guys doing basic cutting for us, and then we did all the sculptural side of it, the carving. It varied because Bond goes all around the world. It's always based in a different part of the world. So you could be doing any style of work, Egyptian and Russian and all that ornate work there. I did that. And on the end of the banister there's an ornate pineapple. And Bond slides down the banister rail and he sees at the bottom that there's this pineapple and he's going to do himself some damage. So he uses his gun to shoot it off and slides off the end and runs off. That there is all that ornate work I did there. And it's handed, you have to do both sides. It was in Octopus's bedroom. And that's where she had the tanks with the octopuses in, or octopi, I think, when there's more than one. I didn't get any reference from them. I just made them up.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean I did 3 different masks basically. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. There's a story with the heart actually, because I sculpted the heart, but he takes out the sacrifice. How you've got it there. And they decided that it'd be a good idea if I went to Harefield Heart Hospital to see a surgeon there. So I went off to Harefield Heart Hospital and I was sat there chatting with the surgeon and I said, what's the closest heart I can get to human? He said, well, the primates. So I said, well, I can't really get that. What's the closest sort of domestic type animal? And settled for a sheep in the end. So the film bought me in a sheep's heart, and I also had a plastic model that they use in hospitals with the right places for the veins to come off, the size of it and everything else. So using those two, I sculpted the heart, and then the special effects put a double pump in there, which gives you the heart sound. So yeah, that was. Oh yeah, as I was getting up to leave, the heart surgeon said to me, he said, "Oh, I'm doing open heart surgery tomorrow. Would you like to come along and watch?" So it took me about 2 seconds to say thanks, but no thanks. It wouldn't have been any good to me anyway. I could hardly say to him halfway through the operation, "Can you stop? I want to get a few pictures." So it wouldn't have helped me. I needed something visually there when I was doing it for what it was. It needed to be correct. It was going to be seen close up. But I liked Indiana Jones. Temple of Doom was my favourite one, although I worked on all 3. The snake that you see there coming down out the tree, I sculpted that. And the opening sequence, which is the gong there, I did a dragon that went right away around the gong with the Paramount Mountains in the middle, so they were smaller than that. And it really looked good. It looked good, and I'd spent 2 weeks doing it. And the art department came and they said, yeah, it looks great, but we can't use it because it's the wrong scale to pan back off. So what you see there, I had 2 days to sculpt because it was needed on set. Yeah, 2
That's
days.
such an iconic moment. When you think of Temple Doom, you think of that rolling along.
Yeah, that and it was the Obi-Wan Club, so there was a lot of ties into Star Wars. Even on the first one, all those Egyptian panels, they had a R2-D2 and a C-3PO on them. I can't remember, because I carved a lot of those panels, and I can't remember if I did that or there was another person carving them, so I don't know if I did them or not.
Yeah, but, it's interesting that those films were actually young people like me watching at the time, maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. I was scared to death. There was a lot of scary imagery.
Oh yeah. The one of the other jobs that you wouldn't realised at the time was when Indiana Jones goes down the Anubis figures into the snake pit, and he's there, and you see they shoot from behind his head, and there's a live cobra there in front of him, but behind a big glass sheet. And because they're shooting into the dark, they can get away with using the glass sheet. But when they look the other way and you see his terrified face, you couldn't use the glass sheet. So I had to sculpt the cobra that you see from the other way. So yeah, just one of the tricks of the film industry. She wouldn't have a snake near her, and that's the reason I had to sculpt the python. I think it was that's the python there that I sculpted, and it was 14 foot long. And if it was a real python with its tail around that tree, there's no way she could have grabbed it and just thrown it. The weight of it alone. And we've stopped the film years down the road, and you can see the snake when it lands on the ground, that it's a lifeless lump of rubber as such. You don't see it with that. The special effects did a good job of giving it movement. And I didn't paint it. There was a lady called Val Charlton that painted it, and she made a nice job of painting it. Again, I only had a few days to sculpt that. I mean, it's a team effort. Even with the likes of Vader, it's not just the fact that I sculpt it. What I did makes Vader look Vader. But then you've got the plasterers that mould it. They cast it in resin. Then you've got the painter, Ron Punter, who did the painting. Then you've got the special effects work. So it's a team, and even the visualisation of George Lucas, he came up, he liked what I'd done on it. He didn't have much to say. He's not very talkative, George, but he's very quiet and reserved. But he made it plain that he liked what he was looking at, and he was right. It worked, and all these years later, it's an iconic character, and visually it works quite well. With Vader as well, I mean, you see things, and you can't be Star Wars policeman, and that's partly why we wrote the book, the original Stormtrooper, because there were so many things being said about the Stormtrooper that we got fed up with putting them right all the time. So we decided to write the book, and that's it. It's all in there, and if anyone really wants to know, they can buy the book and educate themselves as to what happened with the Stormtrooper. So we can't be the policeman for Star Wars and the characters as such. But yeah, as you say, there are things that come up. They've always gone on, and you can get sci-fi conventions, and not necessarily Star Wars, but they'll have the likes of me there because of all the other films I've worked on, and also the characters in Star Wars, which is the main thing that takes us to conventions. But there is so much more than the Star Wars, as you've seen on the website.
favourite Marvel film?
Yeah, it was a nice film actually. I must admit, when we were working on the film, we thought, what the hell is this film we're working on? They're going to have a raccoon is one of the main characters in it. What the hell is it? But that one there, that's is it James Gunn?
Yeah. Yes.
He's the director on it, and he's standing in the back of the spaceship that you see flying around.